Hello to everyone. Today on Baby Cook That Thing, we are making boeuf en crotte, also known as beef pastry. Yes, we are not French, but we're making some French type stuff. Check it out. Actually, there's nothing French about this at all. The only thing that's French is pastry, because French like pastry, whatever. It's good, trust me. So here's what you'll be needing. As always, we keep it simple. 800 grams, 1.75 pounds of ground beef shoulder, mini frozen cauliflower, 2 big onions, puff pastry, sun-dried tomatoes, and thyme. That's all it is.
Okay, very simply, add a bit of oil to a pot on medium heat. Let it heat up for a bit. Then take your beef and one chunk at a time, as I'm doing here, add it to the oil. A chunk at a time is just going to make it easier to break up when you stir it so you don't end up with big clumps later. Nobody likes big clumps. Some people are into weird stuff, but we're not into that. Okay, so water's going to evaporate. It's going to start frying very loudly, and there's going to be some browning and meat stuck to the bottom. That's good. We want that, but not too much of that, so we don't overcook it in the oven. So get rid of it after about 20 seconds of that hard frying. Then you want to set it all aside. Get yourself a little beautiful bowl, as I have here. Put it all aside, and then we start to chop our onions. Now, actually, you can see in the background that I chopped my onions while the beef was frying, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Save some time. Who cares? You just need to stir it every now and again. Chop those onions kind of fine. Not too fine, but fine enough. And after that, get to your sun-dried tomatoes. Layer them one on top of the other, just like that. Chop them once lengthwise and once widthwise. Widthwise, is that a word? I don't know, but that's what we're going to do. All right, so chop them, little choppy chop. Get them just like this, little chunks, half a centimeter, 1/4 inch. And chop up 1.7 to 2.8 ounces, which is 50 to 80 grams of sun-dried tomatoes, depending on your salt tolerance. Okay, thyme. Best way to get the thyme leaves out. Grab the stalk at the end, as you saw me do, and go against the way they grow, where you get some resistance. All right, after that, add some oil to your pot with the brown beef that we spoke about, just a little bit, and put in your mini cauliflowers. Now, we want to do this quick, because we're just trying to get them crispy, okay? They're going to cook in the oven as well. So, by the way, about the thyme, I forgot to mention, you need about 10 stalks worth, okay? You can add more if you want, but 10 stalks worth was right on the money for me. So now get rid of the cauliflower, lower your heat to medium, and fry your onions, okay? You know how to fry onions. Don't need to get into this too much. Just stir them occasionally so that they don't burn, and add salt, okay? There we go. Get them all salty, tasted. You don't want to go too crazy. You could always add salt, but you can never remove salt. And after about 10 to 15 minutes on medium heat, they should look like this. Beautiful, soft, not very, very brown, but kind of brown. All right, now you want to get your sun-dried tomatoes and your thyme leaves. Look at these beautiful colors. Is that me or is this amazing? Looks freaking amazing. You could eat this as it is, as like a vegan dish, but we're not going to do that. No, we're not. All right, mix everything. That's what we want. And now we can go ahead, get our beef and our cauliflower. Beautiful. Again, just like we did with the sun-dried tomatoes and the thyme, the stuff is cooked, okay? But we want to incorporate the flavors. We want to make sure everything gets mixed together, because the amazing thing about this is when it all fits in together, the flavors work very well together. So that's where you go. That's what you do. Mixy. That's what we want. We are mixing. All right, enough about that. Puff pastry. Puff pastry, you can find this in the freezer section of basically every grocery store or supermarket. It's no big deal. Everybody has it, and it comes rolled up like this. You want to use about 1/2 kilo or a pound's worth. Now, you can always make your own, by all means, but it's painstaking work. It takes so freaking long, and honestly, I don't think the extra effort is worth it. This ready-made stuff tastes just fine. So the next stage is to either flour your working surface or get some parchment paper like this. But flouring your surface is a better method because it won't stick to the paper as you're rolling it. Just remember that you'll have to transfer it to the parchment paper once you're done rolling it. The reason I'm rolling it out this way, by the way, is because it's a bit too thick, in my opinion, when it comes out the package. And the thinner you roll it, the faster it'll bake, which is good because you don't want to overcook the filling, which is already pretty much done. So get it as thin as you possibly can. I was able to get it to about 3 millimeters thick, which allowed me to bake it for just 30 minutes. All right, filling the pastry, not complicated, not hard. Anyone can do it. You just need to remember 2 things. Actually 3. Okay, 1, don't do what I just did. Okay, I transferred it to an oven tray because that's what I put in the oven. Just fill the pastry on the regular surface and then carefully transfer it to an oven rack. Not tray, rack. A tray might burn the bottom if you're not careful. Okay, 2. Don't go nuts and try to pack this thing like some kind of sick puppy, okay? I always do this and I always regret it in the end. You won't be able to close the pastry properly. It's a whole thing. There's lots of stuff you can do if you have leftover filling. Trust me. Just ask me in the comment section and I'll give you a bunch of things you can do. So, 3rd thing, put the filling not in the middle, but towards one end like I did, and leave about 1.5 inches to 2 inches. And on the other end, leave a bit like, more length than the filling. And then just without hesitation, just bam, close that as I did there. Squeeze everything. You want it to be very tight in there. And you want to make sure that one end of the pastry is against the other end. You don't want to get pastry on meat because then it won't close properly. So if you get a little bit, it's no big deal. Don't worry about it. But for the most part, pastry on pastry. So that's what we're doing, squeezing. Now remove the parchment paper from the top. And this reminds me of one more pro tip here. Add some flour to the parchment paper right at the beginning before you even start to put the pastry on it, because it'll be easier to remove it in the end. So yeah, you guys can learn from my stupid mistakes. I'm just in such a rush to eat always, and I'm always like, just do it. I don't think, but it's not the best way to do it. Okay, take your time. All right. So if you have some holes in your pastry, it's no big deal. Don't panic. We can fix it. Just get yourself a knife, and with the excess, just get it little thing like that, and just fill in all the tiny holes that you may have. And after you're done, that's it. Just put in all the holes, just like that. All right, about oven temperature and cooking time. First things first, you should preheat your oven for at least 20 minutes at 170 degrees Celsius, which is 340 degrees Fahrenheit. That way your pastry will cook faster. As for how long it should take, mine took 30 minutes, but you should really eyeball it. And after about 20 minutes, go to your oven to make sure everything's under control, nothing's burning. Once it's golden brown and very puffed up, it's done. The reason I can't give you an exact time frame is because all ovens are different, and some say it's 350 degrees, and it's really not. Also, I don't know how thin you rolled out your dough, so you need to eyeball it and make any necessary adjustments. All right, so you saw what I did there. I just cut off all the excess pastry. We're making beef pastry. We're not making pastry beef. Oh, no. So just do that. Very simple. And then take a fork and close down all the edges as I'm doing there. This does 2 things. First of all, it looks pretty in the end. Second of all, it helps closing it. Now take a knife and very gently score the pastry on top, making diagonal lines all the way to the bottom. Make sure not to puncture the puff pastry, okay? If you screw up in a spot or 2, it's not the biggest deal, but just try not to hack this thing to pieces after you work so hard on it, okay? This stage is not necessary, but it does make the final product look pretty awesome. Okay, after that, make some eggwash to put on the pastry. Just take 1 egg, mix it up as if you're making an omelet, and just cover all the pastry with it. Okay, now, if you were a normal person, you'd have a brush to do this with, but I don't have one, so please bear with me as I put this on like a caveman. I didn't want to skip this step though, and you shouldn't either, because the egg wash gives the pastry an amazing shine and golden brown color. Alright, last stage before it goes in the oven is to poke a few holes with a knife on top. This helps steam release and ensures your pastry doesn't explode in your face or in your oven. Alright, let's put this bad boy in the oven. Very excited. Now remember what I said before, use a rack, not a tray. A rack. Got it? Good. Okie dokie, let's take a look at how this bad boy came out. Alright. Do you hear that crunch? Ooh boy. No words.
No words can describe this. It's so crispy, the outer texture. And then you taste the inner juicy beef because we didn't overcook it. And the sun-dried tomatoes, the saltiness of them, mixed with the earthy flavor of the cauliflower. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you because we set the bar high with this one, but my God, this is absolutely incredible. I gotta go in for another one. Sorry. Woo. Oh, I gotta relax now. I'm gonna take it easy. Anyway, so if you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up and comment if you want to see more recipes down below. Whatever you want to see, let me know. And that's it. You can subscribe if you want to see more videos and hit the bell so you can get notifications. That's basically it. Until next time, guys. Baby, cook that thing. Bye-bye.